Welcome to another Down the Rabbit Hole video, doing a PSVR video here, and just a fairly quick recommendation. Do not miss out on Puzzling Places. This game is awesome. It's made by realities.io. It is a really sharp-looking, great puzzle game that I think really demonstrates the power of VR. So what it is, it's a collection of places and items and rooms and buildings and all kinds of stuff that you can actually piece together out of virtual jigsaw puzzle pieces, 3D pieces. Much like any time if you've bought a 3D puzzle, that's what this is, but this has added a whole new level of things that are possible only in VR, and it's amazing. You start off with a collection of pieces here. Now I'm going with the smallest to begin with, just to give you a rough idea. You can start off with 25 pieces or more, and you get these little palettes or these little slideshows that show you, here's what the finished product should look like. And that's really handy for navigating your way because, sure, with 25 pieces, it's not that big of a deal, but when you've got 400 pieces, which is possible with some of these jigsaws, you're going to need a guide. It's really cool, though, to be able to just pick these things up. You use the move controller to you pull the trigger to suck the piece toward you, or you can hit the move button to push it back to the wall of pieces. And essentially, yeah, you just click them together. It's a puzzle. But what I really like, in addition to just making little items, is they've added neat levels of polish to this thing to make it very compelling and very satisfying. There is nothing that feels better than putting these things together. What I really quite enjoy is holding these little things, whether they be buildings or vehicles or what have you, right up in front of me and just sort of sliding them around, like this clock tower. Where does that go? How do I make that thing work? And you also get to hear sounds of whatever it is that you're building. Like if you're by a lakeside and you've built the shore, you actually hear water lapping or people running around with their dogs, that kind of thing. It's very, very nice. That's a level of design to this game that I hadn't really thought of, but it adds a whole level of life to it. And the more you complete the puzzle, as you build more and more bits together, you get more sounds, you get more areas of the thing that you're building coming to life. And it really triggers that kind of, I don't know, that feeling of building something, completing something, like a jigsaw puzzle. Just, in a full 3D rendered piece. I really, really love it's kind of hard to describe, but there's a very satisfying feeling of getting these parts to all mesh together like a real jigsaw, and you really feel that you've got some kind of level of accomplishment when it's over. Now what I'm doing here for the intro to my video is a very simple one. You, as I said before, you get the option to actually put together 25 part puzzles, but all of the objects in the menu can actually be broken down into either 25 pieces, 50 pieces, 200 pieces, or 400 pieces. So this may look very rudimentary and simple to you, what I'm doing right now, because it is, and that's what I recommend is kind of where to start. Throw together one that's only 25 pieces, and you'll easily see what the game has to offer. But I've actually made one of the 400 parts puzzles, and man, it took me days to complete, but it really felt so satisfying when I had finished it off. You might find that you're watching this and thinking, but I can be attacked by zombies or fly spaceships or run around in like a military encampment. Why would I want to put together a puzzle? What's that all about? I'm going to talk about that in a sec, the particular appeal that this game has for me. But I do want to emphasize, definitely, do not pass on puzzling pieces. The move controllers are a really good implementation here. The fact that you can rotate these bits right in your hand and try to make it all fit with a satisfactory click. And then you get that glowing sensation to show you this is the last piece. Just slide it in there. That's when I realized, oh, it was in upside down. Just going to show you one of the more elaborate pieces that I put together. This was a 400 piecer, and this took multiple days to complete, so I'm speeding it up. Some kind of an abandoned NASA thing? I don't really understand what this thing is, but that's kind of the appeal of the game, is the fact that you've got these really random locations and items and outfits and things like that, and you're piecing them together. And I am finding, now this is probably a sign of getting older, but I am finding that my trend with the PSVR games that I tend to play the most tend to be the more chill, relaxed ones. I love Alvo, I love Star Wars Squadrons, I love a lot of intense, exciting experiences, but I do find at the end of my session, I do kind of want something to help me unwind, relax, chill out. Winds and Leaves is a very good example. Star Trek Bridge Crew, even to this day, very nice. Sit back and sort of enjoy the scenery type of game. And now, when I saw the first reviews for Puzzling Pieces, I thought, yeah, this is the kind of thing I could get behind. I want to do something that's just sort of low pace, no pressure. Do I feel like doing this right now? Let's just put together some puzzle pieces. And it really ticks the box and it scratches the itch for making a puzzle. And I will say, this particular one that I'm showing you here, this took many, many sittings. This is a 400 piecer, like I said. You can do 25 piece, which is honestly doable in about 5-10 minutes. A 50 piece, again, very easy. 100 piece is, you could look toward, probably doing that in 2 sittings. This is just according to my way. If you're looking for like, well, how long do these things take? This is what I had experienced, so your mileage may vary. The 200 piece was also multiple days. The 400, I think this one here took me probably about a week, 5 or 6 odd sessions of just going through, finding where everything goes, but it was never overwhelming. You actually get 4 pages of pieces that you can flip through. There's a little button thing at the bottom of the screen that allows you to select which of the pages you're currently looking at. And side note, just discovered this in my last session. If you, between the 4 little dots that show you page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, if you have emptied some of those pages, if you want to like reorganize the pieces so that they're a little more condensed, there's a symbol of like a brush or a fan or something like that. Click that or hold that, and what it'll do is it'll recombine everything and make it take up less pages. So it's just it's a nice little organizational thing. But this was a really fun puzzle to put together. They all are. I really, really recommend it. There's, I think, going to be some DLC coming, I've heard, I hope, because I am definitely going to buy more of these puzzles. These things are fantastic. And I like the little extra polish that the developers have put on, not just making something with 3D puzzle pieces. They've added some very neat little features. There's those sounds that I mentioned, and when I put together this little RC car, whatever the heck this thing is on this workbench, it made a little sound. That kind of thing is a very cool little reward for your patience and your efforts. I really like that. Also, another little feature, when you build something that's like a location, some collection of buildings or structures, they actually have rooms inside of them, and you can pull your head right into the little diorama and see inside. Now, it's not very clear in this footage because the camera, the PlayStation captured the wrong eyeball, but when I was looking in these different spots, I could actually see the church pews and all that kind of stuff in this little tiny diorama, and it was so cool. I really recommend that. So there we go. There is Puzzling Pieces. I highly recommend it. Do not miss out on this game. This thing is really, really relaxing, really satisfying. It's a great little experience, and with more puzzles on their way, I'm looking forward to it. You get an idea here from the menu, all the different kind of buildings and locations and things that there are going to be to build. I wanted to also point out they recently added a new feature here under settings that I think is really going to push people's limits if they want. They have something called Puzzling Noir, where you can make the pieces black and white if you want to add an extra level of challenge. So yeah, maybe you've completed all the puzzles and you think, oh, well, I've done it in all the different sizes and all the different ways. Okay, try making some of these things if all you can make out is black and white. There's the gauntlet thrown down for you. Puzzling Pieces. Do not miss out on it. It's awesome. And until next time, we'll see you down the rabbit hole.